Hi, sisters and friends and bookkeeping mamas. Today I have a special treat. Today we're going to be talking about what I do at WGU. Now, I started my intro to WGU, I want to say last week. I don't even remember exactly what I said in the intro, so I'm just going to get going and kind of touch some things. If it's something I said in the other video, so be it. We'll just kind of work through that. But I wanted to share with you guys, let's see if I can put that there, if that'll work. I wanted to share with you how I got on the journey. I think I talked to you about the journey already because I talked about being a CPA. I talked about that. But I want to talk to you about the whole journey because I wanted to go back to school. We already talked about that. I wanted to find something that benefited me. When I saw WGU, I'm thinking, what? This is great. But that wasn't the first thing I did because I went online. I was talking about, I don't know. When got online, I started to talk about, I looked for WGU. But then WGU leads you to other areas. And so I saw places, and I don't know why my my lighting is like this. Just bear with me. Um, but I got on the WGU train and I saw things like degree hacking and acceleration and competency base and move forward. And so what I did, I move. I really do move. I looked into WGU. Okay, let me go here. I looked into WGU. We're going to talk about this in a moment. But before I got there, I was online. They were talking about degree hacking. They were talking about different schools that you can use for degree hacking. So I found Thomas Edison State University, which I had already found many, many years ago. My daughter actually was enrolled here maybe 8 years ago because it was very, very popular with homeschoolers and helping them to get their degrees before they graduated their homeschool. And so my daughter was enrolled here 8 years ago, approximately 8 years ago. Of course, CLEPs, we know college level, excuse me, what is it? College, what does CLEP stand for? I forgot what it stands for. It's college something examination program or something. My daughter had 45 college credits from CLEP before she graduated homeschool. So we're very familiar with CLEP. And then there was also study.com, which is where we did our geography. And then there was StraighterLine, which is where we did our biology. They send you like a little kit and she did her like biology. She has some things to dissect and things. I've never done Sophia Learning, but there was one that we used. There was another one that we used. I don't remember what it was. And then we also did DSST. So we went to like, there are some things that are similar to CLEP, but they're like mostly affiliated with the military, but they're DSSTs. So we did that for a college course for her. So she had those. So I am very experienced with these things. And so I knew that Thomas Edison from my homeschool experience had a great reputation. And so I wanted to, consider them. So, but while I was on my journey, I also heard of this school, UMPI, University of Maine at Presque Isle, for competency-based education. So, guys, I was on it. I sent my transcripts to every last one of these schools. And I mean, the colleges that I attended, and there were what, one, two, three, four, maybe four for each one. Then my military transcripts to each one. I was on it. Like, okay, whatever happens, happens. I'm going to find out who's the best. Who do I want to work with? Now, the reason I have these up is because while I was online, I heard about degree hacking, degree hacking, degree hacking. And I'm like, oh, that's very similar to what we as homeschoolers have been doing for many years. Get these credits, get them out of the way. You can, payforstudy.com, you can take these courses and you can pass these classes faster and cheaper than you would be able to when you transfer your, I mean, then you would be able to if you went to these courses, did these courses in school. So basically StraighterLine, study.com, Sophia.org, which I'm not very familiar with. And then of course, CLEP has courses that are equivalencies to the college courses that you would take, and they would be accepted at the college and they would help to excel your degree. So I'm looking, I have all of these spreadsheets that I downloaded from these YouTube channels. I have all of this stuff going on. And then, okay, I just want to make sure my audio was clicking because I'm, talking a lot. And then I find this guy right here. This is the 9-month degree grad. And he says, you know what, forget all of that stuff. I I believe that if you really are hacking your degree, you would be able to graduate from the actual college without, in the same amount of time, 9 months, 12 months, 6 months, 3 months, by just going through the college. And so I thought about that. I'm like, okay, first of all, I gave you guys all the good ideas about why WGU was great last time. Competency based, uh, the pricing, the flat rate pricing. And so, and his favorite school is WGU. So let me just, I'm going to kind of be going back and forth because I still haven't talked to you guys about my decisions on UMPI and TESU. And so, I said, okay, well, he says you can just go through the whole school. I said, with my life, guys, I don't want to do this, or that. I want to just get to it. And I just I want everything to come together. I want my hard work that I put in, all of my studying, all of my courses to go toward something because I'm doing the learning anyway. Again, I always say, and I would just preface this, and I probably will try to start prefacing at the beginning of my what I do at WGU videos, that you do not have to get a degree to be a good bookkeeper. You do not. But this is the path that I'm on. And so I'm sharing it with you all. Oh, wait a minute. I said that I was going to share my screen a different way today so that I can look kind of cool, like the cool people. My kids would be so embarrassed with me saying that. Okay, now I'm sharing myself like the cool people. They'd be so embarrassed. Okay, so now here I am. Okay, so now I'm like, okay, but what does it benefit? Like, it doesn't matter if I'm gonna just go through the school. I might as well just, do study.com, Sophia.org. I can CLEP out of some things. I can do StraighterLine. Ideally, I was mostly looking at study.com to be very fair. But then I started to research, and they were saying that if you got an accounting degree, which of course we're bookkeeping mamas, that's where we would be going, accounting or finance. Accounting in particular, if I wanted to get my CPA, I would have to have 120 credit hours that were attributed to my associate's degree, and they were not going to count if they were from a third party. And not a third party like another school, but from a third party like one of these establishments. And of course, this is something that's unique to each state, so you guys will need to look into that. Now, I didn't say I was going to get my CPA, but if I did want my CPA, I don't want to start from scratch. And I think that I don't know why I wouldn't if I go ahead and go through the training. And of course, I just learned from my program mentor that WGU is #1 in the nation for students passing their CPA exam on the first try. So I'm excited about that. So that's when I went in and I weeded out StraighterLine, I weeded out study.com, I weeded out Sophia.org, I weeded out my CLEPs. And I said, I'm just going to go to the schools. And so then I was with these 3 schools: Thomas Edison State University, UMPI, and then Western Governors University, WGU. I sent my transcripts to everyone. They began to reach out to me. Thomas Edison State University, they took the most amount of credits from between WGU and Thomas Edison State University. But I found out that their program is not competency based. They'll let you take up to 12. I don't know. There's a certain amount of credit of courses you can take, and they're 12 weeks. I think they're 12-week courses. I don't do well with anybody constraining my time. I can't do 16-week courses. I was able to do 8-week courses when I had fewer children. Now that I'm up to 10 children on this time side of life, 8-week courses don't work for me anymore. So I needed something competency based. So that weeded out Thomas Edison State University, even though they transferred the most credits. The fact is, in the end, it would have taken me more time and cost me more money because they dictate how much I'm going. Let me get on their page. What is it? They dictate how fast I can go. That's not what I was looking for. So they were weeded out. Then it was between Thomas Edison State, Western Governors, WGU, and UMPI. So I heard that at WGU, there are more opportunities to test out. Not necessarily, well, it is very similar to testing out. They have a pre-assessment and they have the different objective assessments, and you get to take an exam. If you pass the exam, you pass. University of Maine at Presque Isle was more like project-based, where you'd have to maybe write a paper, do a project or something along those lines. They have those at WGU, but not as much from my understanding. And so I'm like, I'm fine. I can write papers. I can do things. I can go this route. So I'm still going to, push forward in both schools and to find out again which one is the best at the end. Because I also have found out that UMPI takes a lot of credits. WGU does not take a lot of credits from other schools, and they also don't take any elective credits. Their courses are set and they're solid. I can show you guys while we're here their degree program. Excuse me. Their program guide. They have courses that are fairly set. There's no wiggle room here. So although you can get these from other schools or you can get them from study.com and some of these other platforms, these are the courses. There are no electives or anything along those lines. I also found out that WGU will not allow you to bring any credits over after you've already been into the program, accepted into the program. So you do your transcripts at the onset, and that is it. Okay. You do those at the onset, and there's nothing else. Let me see. Okay. Okay. Just want to make sure. Okay. So you do those at the onset, and then there's nothing else. And then you get into the program, and once they do your transcripts, they'll go through a process of, oh, did I have a picture? Let's see if I had a picture up. Yes. So you do your program and then you're accepted into the school, and they'll give you like your own little portal, and it looks something like this. So you submit your transcripts, everything has to turn green. You have to meet your program eligibility requirements. I honestly can't remember what was inside of here because I should have done this video before I actually started classes because everything changed. This is a picture now because everything has changed. Then you have a commit to start date. You have to fulfill your financial requirements, and then you have to complete orientation. I think I'll do another video about what orientation consisted of because it was quite lengthy. You know what? As a matter of fact, I don't even want to draw that out because I don't know, maybe I'll slice this video and turn it into two. But on orientation, you have an assignment during orientation. You have a course during orientation. And during this process, I'll just say, I'm gonna save that for another video. I'll just say that during the process when I'm submitting my transcripts, I get myself an enrollment counselor. I blurred out the picture here, changed it, and remove the name, but this person will be on there. You get to schedule an appointment with that person. This is the accounting program tuition as of the date of my start date on the 1st of 2020. 1st of October 2025. Over here, it'll keep you aware of your admission status. I think you have like admitted, I don't even remember them. Clear to start. I think this will change to enroll once I actually get into my courses. Um, if you don't have your financial aid or your tuition covered or arrangements made by the 22nd of the month, you won't be able to start on the 1st of the month. So basically, this had to be squared away by September 22nd for this start date to remain. And then you do your orientation, and in your orientation, you have an entire course where you are working through you have to go through, and there's like these different areas where you have to review. You're going to be in the commit to start area where you have like a profile review. You have a program review where you're going to in your profile review, they're going to ask you for your name, your nickname, your address, phone number, and whatnot. Then you have a program review. You're going to go back over your major and your start. Then you have your transcript review. Then do you agree with the transcript evaluation? I don't know what notes I put in here. I apologize. Financial review. What am I talking about? What is your method? If you draw in a certain amount of days, you're gonna have it goes over your refunds and things like that. Yes, so this was the orientation. Then you're gonna go over your technology review and make sure that you have everything that your system, the system needs, like the right operating system, any prohibited devices. You're gonna have all of that. They're going to talk to you about um, how these are, I guess these are all under your commit to start requirements. I don't, I'm going over my notes, a little off, but they'll talk to you about how the exams work. So, for example, you can't have anyone in the room with you. You have to make sure that everything, there's no writing anywhere. They're going to make you do a 360 of the room to make sure that nothing's there. They give you a whiteboard to take your exams, different things like that. Uh, they're asking you questions, like little tests that you have to take. I think in the commit to start, that's where that was. The commit to start area. Let me go back. This is before the orientation. I think this is where they're asking you questions about whether or not you really want to be there, and do you understand what flat rate pricing is, and competency based. Just making sure you're very familiar with the school and what they're going to be expecting from you, and what you should be expecting from them. And then finally, what is this stuff? These notes. Yeah, I don't know what all this stuff is. I think that's pretty much it. And then you do the orientation. It did. Some people say it didn't take them long. It took me a while. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I was just going slow and not. I don't know. I think I fell asleep a couple times, just to be honest with you. But it's a real course. There are modules in it in the orientation, and you have to pass the orientation. You have an assignment. The assignment is basically just asking you. What do they ask? I know part of it was to give yourself a schedule, and then there were, I think, three questions. I don't remember what they were, but it's not difficult. It's just something that your program mentor is going to want to go over with you. So basically, when I got into this program, uh, I had my enrollment counselor start to communicate with me. And then I also, she would meet with me. We had different tasks that we needed to do. And then after that, I got a program mentor. A program mentor is supposed to be with me throughout the journey. So I'll talk about that another time. But before I get off, I want to go back and say why I'm not at UMPI. So UMPI says, hey, you have a bad history of education, basically. Can you write a paper letting us know how you plan to overcome that going forward? And I'm thinking, okay, I mean, getting enrolled into colleges, you have your different choices and different things like that. Fine. I write them this letter, and I'm thinking, first of all, guys, I'm on what, two, maybe three? I'm in three different honor societies. Um, I have uh my grade point average is like a 3.8 or something. They're telling me that I need to write a certain style, make sure I hit these key points. So I write this little paper about what I did and what I plan to do. And they basically told me it wasn't good enough. I'm thinking, I have these English courses. You guys have all my transcripts. You know that I have A's on my English courses. You know that I have a very high GPA. I've just told you I'm in these honor societies, and I'm doing okay, but I've had these starts and stops as a mom. And they're like, it's not good enough. You need to do this, this, or that. We need to make sure that you can write as an English student. I'm thinking, I've already passed my English classes. I'm actually a published author. I'm not, I've done things. I'm not trying to be haughty or toot my own horn or anything like that. I'm just saying, I obviously have English writing skills, and even published author, none of that. You can look at the grades that I have in my English courses, and you can look at my GPA overall, and you can see that I'm not a bad student. And so it was at that point that I realized I don't have the time. I don't have the time for the headache. If this is what it's going to be, and then when I'm sitting in my papers for the courses, if I have to have this kind of pushback, then I don't have the energy for this. And so I was thankful at the rate in which WGU moved. I was thankful for all of the resources online for WGU. I was thankful for everything. And so this is where I am. And today is the 2nd of October. So obviously I started courses yesterday. I didn't go in, but I wanted to show you guys something. So I got this in the mail, like a little gift, something from WGU today. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'll share that in my next video. But I wanted to just share with you guys this journey. Again, you do not need to be a college graduate to be a bookkeeper. Maybe if you're going to be working for someone, perhaps. But again, I found a job with just a few months of YouTube, and I made quite a bit of money. So, um, very, very, very lucrative to have just a little bit of YouTube months of bookkeeping under your belt. So that's all I have for now. I know this is a longer video, but for those of you who are interested in WGU, I think it's going to mean a lot to you. And if you have any questions, please let me know. This will probably, when I do my next video, Lord willing, will be on a different screen because I want to show you guys what it looks like on the inside and how I'm processing it so far. I think that's it. You guys have a great day. Of course, as I always say, until I figure out what else I'm going to say, keep your money safe, but more importantly, keep your soul safe. And if you have any questions about that, you can check into the description of the video. Like, subscribe, share, and hit the notification bell. Bye now.